Alright people, so I want to talk very quickly as I'm leaving work about something that you can do to help keep your clients thrilled and engaged and coming back to you for more work, which is what you want as a freelancer. And the simple idea is to delight your customer. So I worked at the Apple Store for about 8 months after my time with NetDevil ended, and they have this mantra, delight the customer. And what the Apple Store would do is they would look for opportunities to just surprise and, for lack of a better phrase, delight the customer. One story was a person supposedly had epilepsy and they had a seizure, fell down the stairs, and I'm not sure if they were hurt, but the computer was destroyed. They had a laptop with them and it was just utterly destroyed. And they were distraught, and they brought their computer in to the Apple Store and they're crying. The Apple rep said, you know what, we are going to give you a new computer, just free of charge. We're going to replace this computer and delight you. Obviously the Apple Store can't afford to do this all the time. They are a business, they have to stay in business, they have to make their profit margins, but they look for opportunities to delight. This doesn't just happen with the Apple Store. Real quick, I was buying a house in 2015 here in Austin, and the company I was working for at the time, Bee Cave Games, closed down. So what do? We tried to see if we could find a job and still close. It did not work out that way. So went to the builder, said, hey, we can't close, unfortunately. They were super cool because they said, hey, listen, since you can't close, if you can provide documentation that this is a hardship, this is not you just walking out on a loan because you don't want the house, then we'll give you all of your earnest money, all of your deposits, we'll give all that back. So I provided the documentation and bam, they did. So to this day, when I can refer people to Buffington builders, I do, because it's freaking awesome. They are awesome. About to get my car here. Hope the video is a little less jaggedy. Hope the video is a little more still when I get in the car. 2 more things. There we go. The inside of a Civic. A luxury at its finest. Boy, that car almost didn't start. Last 2 things. What I do personally with my business is if I have a client that I'm working with and they request 10 sound effects, I might provide 30 or 40. Perfect example is recently I had a client request 13 sound effects. I delivered 73. Why? Because as I'm working and producing, I get into a flow and I just start making more sounds. And I have found that if you give a client 1 sound, they will nitpick that sound to death. And they will be very, very, very critical of that sound. It makes your job harder. And also they have fewer points of reference to draw from. But if you gave them like 4, 5 different variations for that one action, then either they have reference points, they say, I like version 1 and I like version 3. I don't think version 4 works. They can give you some points of reference, some ideas to draw from. The other thing is, I've had this happen more than once where a client will say, hey, version 3 actually would be perfect for this other action in the game, so we're going to put it there. Well, great. I've done my job there. So I will over-deliver the amount of assets they request. The other thing I will do, and I don't publicly say this, I guess I am now with this vlog, but I don't publicly say this very often, but I will, if I have a client that's been really cool, fun to work with, very respectful, they've got me good feedback, they're doing their best to be a joy and a pleasure to work with, then as we get close to the end of the project, I'll say, hey, listen, all the sounds I delivered for you, you can just use all of them. For the agreed price that we initially stated for this contract, for this job, you can get all the sounds. Of course, not all the sounds will still match and work for their game, but it frees them up. Instead of thinking, oh God, I can only pick X amount of assets because this is the amount we agreed upon financially, oh, I can just use these all over the place? Heck yeah. And I've had that happen where clients have been thrilled and given me quotes that I can use on my website about, hey, I love the extra sounds, thank you so much, they enhance the game. The final one that I do, the final example would be, there are times I will give extra music to clients. Let's say I'm in contract out for 2 minutes of music, I give them the version, and then I have a pared down ambient version of that track where I mute some stuff. It's not really any extra work for me. If they're, again, a joy to work with, I will give them that extra music track at no additional cost. If the client is a jerk to work with, I'll just do the agreed upon amount of work, charge them the agreed amount, and move on with my life. So look for ways that you can delight your customer, because they'll come back to you. They'll remember that, and they'll be like, this guy Nathan, this guy Bob, this woman Susan. I almost said this woman John. But anyway, they'll come back and they'll be like, that was awesome, I want to work with you again. Delight your customer. If you like these videos, if you like what I'm doing, like, comment, subscribe, and have a great weekend. Thanks.